Good evening, villains. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm developing a management strategy game where you take the role of a supervillain, taking inspiration from games like Kenshi and Dungeon Keeper. Since the last time we spoke, I've been making the world a bigger place for you to conquer. It's important to me for you to get the supervillain Sauron Simulator feeling that there is a Middle Earth for you to conquer. Unfortunately, a large world that's different each playthrough requires a bit of processing effort to create and memory to remember. So usually these are loaded as chunks, and for technical reasons, for a strategy game, it's simpler to keep these chunks as separate instances of playable space. Just think of, say, the Total War games, or Keeper RL, where you have your starting zone and you can venture out into other zones. And that's probably the same sort of approach that I will take. I've been working on something inspired by the medieval map from games like Manor Lords and Age of Wonders 3. The latter being the first game I saw with that feature, and I thought, wow, this is very cool, so I built something similar. You have this fantasy map, and within Unity, I can place tiles onto it. Those tiles then have their type and location passed to a custom extension of my procedural generator, which runs a different procedural generation algorithm to create that specific biome or point of interest. And yes, for those who are concerned, these points of interest can contain anything in them, including handcrafted stuff. I just don't want to be forced into having only handcrafted stuff. At the current time, there's only 3 different points of interest: plains, forests, and towns, which are all quite basic and bare minimum. These will become more interesting and filled with things for you to do as time goes on. Additionally, all the points of interest are generated at the same time and in a grid, which is not how I want things to be. It should be an arbitrary graph with points of interest that are only generated when you visit them with your forces, somewhat similar to Dominions. Besides adding this fantasy map, I fixed up a bunch of issues from last time. If you remember, I had problems with my casting animations for Fireball, so I fixed those. It bothered me that the casting effect kept looping even though you hadn't finished casting the spell. So now the casting effect matches the duration of the animation to do the fireball. And I thought that there was a little bit too much special effects, so I toned it down a little bit. Although the burning effect looks a little bit better than before, I think, but it still needs a bit of polish. I also added some explosions to the lightning, just like in real life, and added this mana shield ability. Although at the time it's a bit buggy, and it confuses your enemies into having seizures. I swear it's a feature, not a bug. Additionally, I removed the dismemberment and replaced it with gibbing, which I think is quite nice and is much simpler than the dismemberment. Alright, that's it for now, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like what you see, make sure to let YouTube know with a thumbs up, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Until next time.